Hello, hello. It's PirateWeasel back at it again. Start of a new mod, the Black Reliquary. I forgot all my Twitch commands. Hold on. Just gonna run an ad real quick here before anyone gets here. Okay, there's so much to cover in this thing. Okay, so I was commenting yesterday how I was kind of sad to see that there wasn't different difficulty settings for this game. It is nice to know at least that the difficulty is comparable to Stygian/Blood Moon, they're saying. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I wouldn't expect the game to be so too easy then. Yesterday was also very, very slow as far as the gameplay. It was actually really boring for me to... Like the animation speeds being the default made it a lot more boring for me to play, honestly. I'm just gonna go ahead and get those built-in mods up there. And that should be good. So we only did one mission yesterday, which was the very first mission. Very interesting to see all the new different kinds of changes to the classes, the new kinds of buildings we have here, the new kinds of enemies. There's just so much to get into that I kind of want to just get into it as I go. So we did take a look at all the new trinket offerings here. A lot of changes to the trinkets, so again, as always, I'm going to prioritize choosing the mission based on the trinket reward in these early levels. I do think the stun amulet seems like a very good candidate still. The -3 speed looks really bad at first, but then you have to kind of keep in mind that all the numbers in this game are kind of doubled, meaning -3 speed is more like the equivalent of -1.5 speed in the base game. And there are trinkets, comparable trinkets to that. You know, like the Cudgel Weight of Houndmaster is 20% stun chance for -1 speed, if I recall. So if this trinket was in the base game and it said like -2 speed, it would probably still see some use. We do lose the stun resist on this trinket that the base game had, but I think it's still good enough for some of the slower characters. Like Crusader here still has a speed of 2, you know. Nothing's really changed for that, so the stun amulet should be pretty decent on him, assuming he still has a stun, which I can't imagine they would have taken away. We have Stunning Blow here still. Let's see what did change, though. Penetron, welcome, welcome, thank you. So we kept the percent damage versus Unholy here, but now we have percent damage versus X-Speeded too. It's actually a word I'm not familiar with. I'm sure it's in the glossary here, but we'll see when it comes up. Okay, and we have a expiate keyword here already, so we do expiate the target with the new Zealous Accusation and lower their prots. The damage mod is still the same. Bulwark of Faith, other religious heroes -4 stress. So now we have Bulwark that does minus stress to the team. Mark self, buff self still. Uses per battle 1, okay, same as before. Inspiring Cry, we still have kind of the same deal, exactly. Heal stress, plus torch. Okay, again, basically we have a plus damage modifier against Expiated on 2 of his main abilities. Battle heal, stress on target, hold on, 25% healing done per 25 stress on target, okay. So they did buff up battle heal a bit. You just get extra healing depending on how stressed they are. It's kind of interesting. All of his abilities for camps still look exactly the same. Now let's take a look at Vestal. Again, we have the expiate keywords. We have more class synergies than we did before with the affiliations. Interesting to note that Vestal, I believe, spawned with the Faithless affiliation here. I wonder if Crusader always... Okay, so Crusader never spawns as Pagan, just like Hellion never spawns as Religious. Again, Vestal can't spawn as Pagan, but she did not spawn as Religious. Faithless kind of reminds me of the Faithless Quirk in the base game. She can't go into the Abbey or the Penance Hall. Yeah, okay, so we only got these 2 characters, so not much to review there. Let's see what kind of team we can throw together here. I think I would like to get these 2 level 0s leveled up. So, some Sea Kraken, thank you, I'm glad to be back. I just spent the last month working on some YouTube content, so you guys can check that out if you have the chance. But I will be back to regular streaming, just less hours than in the previous months. So probably about 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And yeah, been meaning to play this Black Reliquary mod for quite a long time. Never knew for sure if I would actually complete the last challenge run and get to have this opportunity, so definitely happy to get into it here. So we already increased the offerings of the fairy here. And then I don't have enough heirlooms to really upgrade anything else. Yeah, I think we should just get into it here. I don't need this, like, I generally tend not to get any upgrades very early on, except for the guild. It would be nice to have, you know, the skills, but they do come with everything unlocked, unlike in the base game, so that's one big part of the guild value in week 2. The bosses compilation videos have been incredibly helpful. Yep, I figured they would be, because that's exactly the kind of content I would have loved to have seen when I was, you know, learning the game. When I was watching, like, Adam vs. Everything stream and seeing him go through, you know, he has everything time-stamped. I did get inspiration from him a lot as far as formatting the videos. And then, you know, I would have loved to see a compilation of the most interesting parts of the campaign, which to me were always the boss fights. So I think it is a really good resource, and it's something that could be a little bit fun to look back on and watch. The next compilation I'm going to be putting out is going to be the Shambler compilation, since I did fight the Shambler 15 times, beat him 14 out of those 15 times. I actually made a mistake on the stream. I said I only beat 13 out of 15. I retrieved the dungeon after beating one of the Shamblers, but I must have marked it down as a failure to kill the Shambler, but I did kill him 14 out of 15 times, so a lot of people, if they want to see how fighting the Shambler actually works, I think that would be a really good resource to see back-to-back fights like 15 times, and then kind of see how that can be consistently done would be helpful. Samson, hello, welcome back to you as well. So honestly, I think Man-at-Arms is kind of ass in rank 3 when he doesn't have access to Crush or Ramparts, so let's kick him out for now. And then we do actually have, you know what, maybe that's not going to be happening. I think I would like to do something like this, actually. So we can open the turn with a Rampart and have a kind of a dance comp going on here. We get to utilize 2 level 1s. Sorry, not level 0s. What a blessing it is to not have level 0s, right? After all the rants I've been on how bad level 0s are. Kind of thankful that that's not a thing here. It is kind of astound me that that was even a thing in the base game, where your heroes just start out the game with, like, insane penalties. But I guess it was balanced around, you know, not Torchless and not Deathless, so it wasn't quite as bad for most players. But anyway, no level 0s. Everyone comes with skills unlocked, which is super nice. All of this still looks the same to me. Illumination used to be one of the worst skills in the game. I wonder if they buffed that at all. Same D-Stealth, same damage modifier. Plus 15% damage per 25 torch, so this actually benefits more from high torch. Okay, so they did give Illumination a buff based on how much torch you have. Hand of Light buffs other heroes on hit. Now how does that make sense? Buff other heroes on hit? So they get a buff that... Like, the way I would understand this is that you use this ability, whenever your other heroes hit an enemy, they get these buffs for the next turn. Very kind of weird mechanic, I'd say there. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. So again, same with Crusader, she just has more damage against the expiated keyword. And I'm sure she has one of these that can expiate the targets. Like Judgment, we see expiates the targets. But Judgment doesn't have any, like, her base abilities are usually her best ones, don't have any synergy with expiated besides Mace Bash. So I'm probably going to play her in rank 4 like I usually do. None of the camp skills seem any different. Okay, so it looks like Bless is the only camp skill that had any change, which is plus 15 damage for Religious. I do like the additional utilization of affiliations here, because obviously that was something that was not really fleshed out in the last game. It is really awkward that she spawned as Faithless, though. I wonder if that affiliation can ever be changed. I'd be curious about that. Hey, Giraffe. Heavy attention to a character affiliation. Yeah, I've been talking about it a lot here, because, you know, I've seen all the synergies, looking at their skill loadouts here. Obviously, we have a lot of religious, like, synergy with camp skills and with just regular skills here. But anyway, tried and true strategy, Crusader dance comp. I mean, it's nothing exciting, but it gets the job done. Especially in the early levels, you have a lot more, you know, ability to utilize less optimal teams, just because you have those characters and it works. I do like the creativity that comes in early game especially, where, you know, you just don't have the optimal team to take every single week, and you have a lot of just puzzling in characters to make like a good team based on what you have and what your goals are for that week. So in this case, I do have access to Crush, to Rampart. Bellow I'm still liking, because it does ignore the prep rounds accuracy reduction. Now that's actually something to think about here. Because we do have this prep run mechanic in this game, opening turns with things like Holy Lance is actually not going to be as good, obviously. So if I'm opening my turn with Bellow, and I can do something like, you know, maybe Bulwark of Faith, you know, as opening turn, so we don't have to waste our turn missing an ability. We also have a opportunity to use, you know, Handle Like it's a lot better, I'd say, when you have this prep round. You know, I am kind of seeing the purpose of the prep round mechanic. It does give you like a slower paced game where you can actually use buffs to a higher extent. Otherwise, they're really just too slow for the most part. Like Candlelight was really underwhelming in the base game because you're taking a turn to set up. But in this game, you're missing most of your attacks in the first round anyway. So I'm trying to think here now if I do want to utilize a rank 2 buff strategy with this team. So I could toss out Hellion here. I could put Man-at-Arms in that ring, for example. But then Holy Lance gets a lot worse, because then it pushes Vestal out of position. It can be, but it's hard as hell. You might as well start looking for a new one. Oh, okay, changing character affiliations. Okay. The mini Fanatics probably being more effective against Pagan. Optimal team here is Hellion, Man-at-Arms, Jester, PD. I mean, I don't have a PD, so I don't know what you mean by here. It gives you reason to use shit you don't use in DD1, even DD2 for that matter. Just as Ma says, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and welcome back to the stream. Excited to be back here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with the... I'm not going to spend too much time just, like, decision-making for the time being. Let's just get into it here. Like, I don't know how truly difficult this base game is. They are saying that it's equivalent to Stygian Blood Moon. But for what I'm seeing, like, levels 1 to 5 in the base game, Torchless Blood Moon is some of the hardest levels you'll ever, like, kind of do. The failure rate of the first 5 levels are incredibly high, but from what I saw in my last dungeon yesterday, I mean, to be fair, it was the very first dungeon, but it was kind of incredibly easy. There was no stress by the end of the mission, despite it being torchless. No one was even close to dying, so I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, okay, let's just keep this loadout here. We do expiate the targets, so we do have some synergy with the Crusader here. I do like Bellow still. I guess we'll take Guard still. So there's an Accusation. Smite is probably still not going to be that great. Yeah, you know what? My gut still tells me that Bulwark of Faith is not going to be super amazing for regular battles. Let's keep the default loadout I would normally take on them for now. And then Yeah, you know what? Yawp is actually looking a lot better to me here. I'm noticing that there is no debuff here, right? So it's only a cooldown of 2 turns, which the old Yawp didn't have. But the problem with the old Yawp that was so, like, disadvantageous to you after the round you use it. And plus, this Yawp ignores prep round, which is kind of insane. On prep round... Hold on. Okay, here's something. On prep round, debuff target... Oh, okay, so this skill is literally based on using it in the prep round. Very interesting. So, let's actually take it. Let's try it out here. Let's skip Breakthrough, which is still a comparable debuff. The -1 speed is not so bad when all the numbers are doubled in this game, so the speed reduction is a lot less impactful. It does still hit the first 3 ranks, okay. Well, anyway, let's take this loadout, give it a try. A lot of new trinkets to consider here. Like I was saying, these trinkets do not have any downsides so far. It seems that they're really leaning against having trinkets with downsides. Like in the base game, the very early common trinkets have very, I would say, negligible effects with like pretty bad downsides. Anyway, I will go and put the Charm of Growth on the tank. Prot minus crits receive chance. Again, it could be good on Man-at-Arms, but maybe I want to space things out. The Charm of Rage obviously going to be good on Hellion. Minus Resolve EXP. I think I'll skip that for now. Like I was saying yesterday, this trinket would have been really nice to have for my, challenge run on the base game, because you don't always want people leveling up. You want to utilize them as long as possible. Otherwise, they sit in the barracks for, until you can unlock veteran missions, but I have no need to do that right now. I'm just going into this game blind without any other qualifiers besides Torchless and Deathless. I am curious to see if the game actually becomes challenging at some point. It does feel like I'm taking my knowledge and skills into completely uncharted territory, which is pretty fun. Oh, hey there, Pixel. Welcome back. Giraffe Optimal Team is the one use on BR. Just waiting for you to experience darkness. Okay, I'm excited for that. There must be some mechanic that I'm not aware of yet as far as darkness goes. There's no actually trinkets? Wait, like actually? Alright, just a reminder, not too many spoilers, not too much help, but that is definitely interesting to think about. If accuracy is not a thing, then that's kind of crazy. It does free up a lot of, design space. Accuracy is... I mean, I like the accuracy mechanic in Dark Dungeon, because I've never played a game that had an accuracy mechanic. I think it was really unique, and kind of a little bit skill-based to play around. But without an accuracy mechanic, you have a lot more freedom when it comes to playing around with different trinkets, so I am kind of, thinking that's going to be refreshing. Anyway, I'm wondering if it's time to unlock any camp skills. I'm thinking no, just because I don't have any, particular attachment to these characters so far. Coward is obviously something I would want to remove. Giant Slayer I'm still iffy on. But again, let's not take too much time here. Diffident, don't really care about. Dud Hitter, yeah, about the same as the base game. Skeptic, doesn't make... that's a good bad quirk to have because it doesn't apply. Crits receive chance kind of sucks, but I feel like in the back ranks she's not as vulnerable. Deadly is an increase of 1% chance compared to the base game. Hunter seems insane for a sniper character like Arbalist. But then again, bear in mind, I am not seeing any mark synergy on her abilities now. Now, I did notice that, she doesn't have a mark skill. Her mechanics are completely different than the base game, which is refreshing because, obviously, she was just a carbon copy of Arbalist. Now, this does give her some mark synergy, but kind of I'm not quite sure, this would be just as good as anyone else. I'm not quite sure it's worth locking in. And I have not seen any mark abilities on any of my teammates so far besides vulnerability hacks. That is interesting. Yesterday I took vulnerability hacks just because I assumed it would work with Arbalist, but I'm just noticing now that it doesn't actually do anything. Circle Gurk, thank you, and welcome back yourself. Okay, let's just see what I want to do here. So these are stress recovery stuff. We do also have the galley for stress relief. What is here? Bar, gambling hall, fighting pit. So we don't have the brothel anymore. Interesting. Despite the additional fan service in this game, no more sex. Okay, unless it's the Amber Den. But this, maybe there's some. Maybe this is the brothel equivalent. I have no idea. Amber refinement. Wait, what? Converting amber to refined amber stress heals people? Okay. I guess we won't question it. Trading. Okay, so trading resources here heals stress. It's very interesting. Indulge in the delights of cleansed amber. Okay, so this is just, this is like a drug thing. Like you get high and then you heal off the entirety of your stress at the expense of some resources. Very interesting. Trinkets. Again, these trinkets that were all previously class-specific are now generalized for anybody. You know, plus speed for Torchless sounds pretty decent, but I'm gonna hold off on spending like a third of my gold without understanding, you know, how good trinkets actually are. What I was looking for just now was quirk lock-in removal. Where can I find that? Maybe I have not, like really there's no quirk removal stuff? Oh, here we go, the clinic. So we do have a clinic, and we have a medical ward. I did notice yesterday that you can just heal off diseases with supply items that you can buy from the caretaker equivalent, so yeah, disease treatment, not really the most important thing. Okay, so basically just a carbon copy of the sanitarium. Let me just take a look and see if these characters are worth keeping and whether I want to remove anything right now. I don't really care about these two quirks, so it's really only these two are the candidates. Reckless seems pretty bad, but Hunter, I'm not quite sure if that's worth locking in yet. Deadly is always going to be kind of nice, but are there crit modifiers doubled as well? I mean, I was told that all the numbers are doubled, but yeah, I feel like this is about double. Oh no, because okay, I see. She has the quirk. It's already considering the quirk, so her base crit chance is 6. Yeah, I mean, if all the numbers are double, Deadly's actually worse in the base game, even though it's 1% more crit, just because, you know, if you have that, then it's equivalent of 1.5% crit. I don't know if I'm keeping her. I will just keep my gold for now, I guess. You can reach 100% crit here. I mean, I guess you could theoretically do that in the base game too with buffs. There wasn't like a cap on it or anything. Maybe it's easier to do that here because all the numbers are doubled again. Like, I guess that makes sense. You know what? Crit being doubled doesn't actually make sense to me. Like, crit is still insane because it's not like damage where if the enemy's HP is doubled and your damage is doubled, it's like nothing really changed. But crit, it wouldn't really make sense for me for them to buff that, like to double that, because you're still doing like 1.5 times your max damage on your already doubled stats. So I could actually, now that I think about it, I have to, yeah, rescind my previous take. Deadly still seems pretty good. Okay, you know what? I'll start playing around with some of this. Let's reduce the quirk treatments here. We're gonna, yeah, get rid of Skeptic, Reckless, and lock in Deadly here. Only 2,000 gold. It feels like it's a little bit cheaper than the base game too. Yeah, it would not make sense at all for crit to be doubled. That actually, it makes no sense the more I think about it. I don't feel a strong need to double anyone's EXP right now. I mean, I'm not in a hurry to get into the veteran levels yet, and I'm still learning, so I think I can hold off on that. Charm of Order, I think I could do with some prot on my frontliners. Wait, we do have accuracy trinkets. Yeah, we have 4 accuracy right here. This is definitely going on Hellion, which means that the prot can then go on Crusader instead. Alright, so we got Judgment, Dazzling Light, Divine Grace, Divine Comfort. Are these the same thing? Cure Horrors, heals for Yeah, comparable amount, but there's a cooldown of 1 now. And then Divine Comfort, heals party 36, cooldown 1, so you have to alternate between these two skills. So backline Vestal is going to be a little bit worse, while frontline Vestal has got a little bit better. So that'll be something to play around with, but for my purposes this week, I think I do want to just, yeah, keep my frontliners where they are. So turn 1, we're usually going to Bellow. We might get Zealous Accusation up, or we might just want to hit Bulwark, honestly, now that I think about it. Let's play around with Bulwark turn 1, just because I don't want to waste my turn missing enemies. Can't say you like Vestal on Black Reliquary. Yeah, I could see that. She's considerably worse in the backline, obviously. We actually do have XP target here, so maybe I do want Smite, actually. I really would hate to just play rank 3 mana arms, though, so I kind of do want to enable Holy Lance, though. Because XP doesn't give me any extra accuracy. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I definitely want Smite for the synergy, which, you know what? No, 50% damage versus XP is not actually, like, good at all, now that I think about it. That's actually pretty, mid. Okay, I think we'll go with this. Oh yeah, camp skills. Can I get anything yet here? So the survivalist equivalent is unlocked at the restart, but, you know, I don't have any reduction to purchase yet. I'll just stick with what I have. Yeah, I'm good on trinkets. Okay, so this is a long mission, I just noticed. Wait, no, you just get... Okay, so in Black Reliquary, you get 1 camp for short missions, and you get 2 camps for medium. I mean, again, that's making the game a lot easier, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet. I do like to bring max food. I'll bring like 5 shovels like do for medium missions. We are seeing some blight even from like human enemies, so I will take 3 of these and maybe 3 bandage. Like, I didn't use them all last mission, the short mission. I think cleansing salts can be used, a lot of them. I guess I'll take 2 and see how it works out. Honing oil, I remember, just increases your armor piercing. I think it gives you something like 30% armor piercing, so what the heck, I'll try it out. This is the very cheap option to just cure diseases off people, and also give you a disease resist. I did get diseased once last mission, and I actually got to use this. Inventory space is pretty low, though. Let's try 2 keys. Archaeology kit seemed pretty useful. I was able to use like 2 or 3 last time. Disease kit. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. It was the disease kit that cures the disease. And then the alum sensor, I believe, was the equivalent of herbs that cured off my debuffs. Yeah. This is very expensive, actually, so disease kit, it's kind of interesting. If there was the equivalent of like the warrants here, then that actually could be really good, because you can cure off diseases in the middle of the campaign. But, yeah, we'll just leave it alone for now. Okay, looks okay to me. We don't have any ambush prevention, though. Now that I think about it, I think it would be nice to have at least 1 ambush prevention skill. That also heals my stress. Yeah, why the heck not? I don't look that poor right now. It would be nice to get Zealous Speech too, but again, it seems like I'm not getting much stress at all on these missions, honestly. I'll leave it alone for now. Wait, I actually have Vessel that can cure Horror? I don't want to keep a lot in my inventory. It's kind of lame. It's not even that bad to have Horror, usually. Wait, just 1 honing oil. Let's take 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. Pretty expensive archaeology kits, but I'm assuming that the payoff is worth it. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. And yeah, let's do it. So this area is called the Catacombs. Okay, the Catacombs. I have already figured out most of the curios, like just intuition, looking at the supply of them. So I wonder if it's like the base game where after you use the right supply of them for the first time, then it'll show you an indicator of what the supply of them does for the curio. Nice. This is with the kind of walking speed I'm kind of used to. I think this is going to really improve the enjoyment of the game for me, because the base animation speeds were just really kind of boring to sit through for me, honestly. Oh, look at this guy. My god. Okay, so these... Wait, what is this now? It's the same thing, okay. It's just that they have stumbled because they were surprised, okay. So Yop should get a lot of value here. Yop is kind of insane, though. Oh, okay. This is what I missed, though, is that Yop seems better, except they... Oh, okay, no. Wait a second. So on turn 1... Okay, on prep round, it debuffs dodge and damage, otherwise it stuns. Okay. So it is a little bit different there. I still like it, though, for the fact that it's guaranteed to hit pretty much on the prep round. Same with Bellow here. Okay, so yeah, we have that mechanic. We're just getting random quirks, or not random quirks, but relevant quirks when we land abilities sometimes. Now, something to note here is that... Okay, Judgment also ignores the prep round's accuracy reduction. That makes it a lot better in my mind. So again, I am gonna... Okay, but Judgment is significantly worse now because you can't hit rank 4, I'm noticing. I'm going to target the less tanky guy to start, as is generally the case when it comes to enemy targeting in the base game. Okay, I remember now. So I actually had the expiated keyword used against me by the Friar enemy yesterday. So it is the same, like it's not just marking them with the status, it actually does things to them too. And it's the exact same thing that does to me. So yeah, it gives me some healings this time. Heal heroes 5% max HP. More if it's 10% if religious. Debuffs heroes. Okay, so I can expiate their healer to have them do less healing for the enemy team. And then on trigger... Okay, so this was something I was not sure about the last mission yesterday, but I believed yesterday that I got the expiate trigger for damage when I end my turn with the character, but it may just be hitting them with a expiate keyword attack just triggers that instead. That's what I'm going to assume here. Does he have a ghost arm? Hold up. Okay, that's a little bit concerning. Ooh, okay, he's like an abomination equivalent. And he misses attack, but he still expiated my whole team, it looks like. No, he gave them debuff minus 40% from expiated, so if they do have some expiate synergy, I'll have to watch out for that. I don't think any of these targets are going to expiate me, though. Someone tell me what that means, by the way, expiate? I've never actually... I don't recall ever learning that word before, or seeing it come up. Okay, so... his name is... This unit is called the Levantine Rakshasha. Okay, so similar to DD2, you actually get some more information about who they attack now too, it looks like. Okay, no idea what this targeting iconology is. It seems that, like, my assumption is that he has a cleave attack that he can use from the middle ranks, and he has single target attacks to be used from the other rank. You know what? I have no idea. It could just be the indicators telling me who he can buff on his own team. Oh, and it tells me their skills too, similar to the DD2 HUDs or whatever. Anyway, enough talking. Yeah, I mean that's what I would assume, Giraffe. It's just that some of these notations are a bit hard to intuitively understand. Like, they have multiple abilities, right? So it's kind of like, if you were looking at DD2, they would tell you probably what abilities can be used from each position. This is kind of more harder to suss out, but whatever. We do have a stun ability here. It would be nice to stun this guy. I tend not to like going for stuns on higher stun resist enemies, though. It's not like I'm going to kill this guy anytime soon either, so I think I'll just go for the more consistent stun here.
Where danger lurks, so too do riches.
I will go for a stun here, though, so I can get Crusader in position to Holy Lance the backline. Okay. Uses up his turn here. This game is still a little bit slow for me. They increased the animation locking speed, but not the attack animation speeds. But, you know, whatever. I'm taking a lot of time to think anyway, I guess. Maybe you guys will enjoy the animations. I don't think X-baiting twice would really do anything. I did fail both stuns last turn. I can clear Horror with Divine Grace, obviously, too, but I don't really need it. So, he did get a buff that applies Horror for longer, I noticed. So this is actually going to be 20 points of stress per Horror. But if he reapplies it, then it would make sense to clear it now. Of course, this does have a cooldown, but I'm not concerned about stress right now.
Devastation.
Yeah, like animations are nice when you're first playing the game, but after a while it's kind of like I get the picture. I still would very much like to stun this guy. The chance is just 35% though. I don't know what his... I forget what his single target abilities are. I guess I'd rather spread out the Horror, if anything. Like, they're already still bellowed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, still bellowed for one turn. Let's see if I can actually stun him here. His stun chance is still the same as Man-at-Arms, though. Inspiring Cry does not clear Horror like it does in Butcher's Circus. Yeah, until I get some... okay, that's nice. I did get land a stun, which is very unlikely. Samson, you're saying Rock Sasha's type of demon? Interesting. Okay, so that must be some established real-life lore that I've never heard of. Wow, look at that. Very cool stuff. You know, oh, he's a djinn. I guess I do recall reading that, you know, djinns are considered demons in that folklore. Very interesting. There's no point in going for a rampart here, unless I just want to get Crusader in position to Holy Lance again. But it's not like I'm stunning this guy though, and if I do knock him back, which is not unlikely, then I'm out of position to even Holy Lance this guy. And the guard is still up, so Bellow is the only thing that makes sense here. He got stun resist for some reason, so his stun resist is actually insane right now. I really have nothing good to do here, so yeah, Vestal is really losing out on some utility. X-baiting anybody here doesn't really do anything, because they don't have any X-bait synergy right now. So I guess we'll just clear some Horror off the guy that has the most stress. Get that off cooldown next turn. Yeah, but see, this is what I was saying though, right? When I have an enemy alive that just keeps on applying Horror, then... And what I'm seeing here is he still has stun resist. I'm not sure exactly where he's getting these stun resists from. It could be that the stun resist lasts longer than it did in the base game, which is only one turn after you stun them. Yeah, so I do have to switch some abilities around. I don't have any damaging abilities for the frontliners here, and stun is getting, like, is very noticeably worse in this game than the base game. So, let's see what I do there. I almost wonder if you even attempt to land a stunning attack, they automatically get stun resist. No, that really would not make sense to me. The Torchless debuff plus Vartaz spawn chance, I knew that. Plus stress, plus hero surprise, plus player crits. I mean, it's very simplistic compared to all the modifiers in the base game, right? Really don't know what to take in from that. This is gonna do... Okay, you know what I'm noticing is that... Oh, okay, so Judgment does not do any damage in this game either, so that's also considerably worse. We're gonna have to really rethink our skills and hero order after this fight, because... Yeah, I'm just realizing more and more things here. But these guys are pretty much completely resistant to stuns here. I guess we'll just get Divine Comfort off, cooldown. And she gets a debuff too. Okay, no, that's just a debuff. Okay, so... Okay, so it's like I thought. The XBA keyword does do damage to them at the end of their turn, which is a completely new mechanic. This guy still has the insane stun resist. Okay, this is getting to be pretty annoying. I'm going to move him back so I can enable Holy Lance, actually. I just want to kill this guy. He does not have any prot, it looks like. Finally, I can actually crush, too. Cool. Some more horror. But now Divine Grace is off cooldown, so I can heal the horror off Crusader at least. Okay. I think that may be the first horror crit on my... Like the first enemy crit on my team. His stun resist is a little bit lower now, still pretty high for some reason. Lasts for the entire battle. What is this buff though? I gotta pay attention. It could be that after you stun them for the first time, they get stun resist for the entire battle. That would be an interesting way to balance it out. $12 points of stress for 4 turns, 12 for 4 turns. Let's get rid of that for him. And hopefully we can stall to get rid of this, like, 4 times 12 is what, 48 points of stress over 4 turns? He's missed all his lances so far. It's unfortunate. So... debuffs, damage, and crit. You know, minus crit chance is half decent for the most part. I have a 25% chance of stunning him. I don't like to tend to go for those luckier, less consistent plays. I do want to enable Holy Lance though. And he gets stunned for the 25% chance, I think, which is nice. Okay, good to know, Giraffe. Are Booba still a thing in this mod? I saw a lot of Booba so far, to be honest. Definitely, yeah, something different about this game is more fan service with both the male and female characters, it looks like. Which I don't mind. Okay, so he already has no turn for this round. But you know what? I should have actually still ramparted just so I can enable Holy Lance, even though that attack has not hit a single time so far. But you know what? I'm comfortable in outspeeding him next turn, so we can just get some stress heals in here. I actually fat fingered the skill there, but it turned out okay. Okay, this costs 500, so that's nice to have. I'm probably going to look to camp maybe very soon this year. I know that the base Virtue Chance from what I've seen is 10% lower than in the original game. So I do have Zealous Vigil equipped here. Yeah, let's go for a camp here. And we'll just figure it out as we go. I'm a big fan of Feast.
Keep each other safe.
Okay, but worthy of noting, Feast gives you 5% less stress heal here than before, so maybe I should have actually read that first, but it's okay. I didn't take herbs to cure off all the rebel stress. I don't have, I do have some religious synergy here though with Prey. Oh, we have 2 religious characters, okay, so that's clearly going to be worth it maybe. Instruction, we still have accuracy and speed, so accuracy is still very much a thing in this game. It's very much still relevant as far as trinkets and skills go. We're going to give this to Hellion. Actually, I think we need to give this to Crusader because he's just missing everything so far. And 6 speed would also be kind of nice here, so he's not going last every single turn. And obviously, Hobby is a new kind of like baseline camp skill that most people have. It is actually very useful to have. It heals 5 more stress than Courage would. And it's only 2, so we can Hobby and then we can Pray. And both Crusader and Man-at-Arms will receive additional benefit off of that. So let's go and do that. And now we're back.
We follow the ever-guiding light.
Okay, but we did talk about needing to switch skills around though. Judgment, still nice to have for round 1, but I think I do need some damage on Crusader in the front ranks here. I'm almost considering not even... You know what, let me experiment with not even running Stunning Blow, because I still like the other skills, honestly. But most of the turns, Stunning Blow is kind of dead. We already have 2 other sources, or 3 other sources of stun. Like, everyone on this team has some form of stun, one way or another. Yeah, this loadout makes sense to me. The only thing I'm swapping out is... Oh. Okay, I do actually kind of want to see if shovels work on this. Okay, so we do have these question mark indicators for Kyrios. Let me see if shovels do more, because I'm pretty sure I was just able to open this with my bare hands. You know what? I can't... Like, I'm thinking about it from a logical perspective, like, just reaching your hand in by the shovel shouldn't be that big of a difference, right? I do see a blockage here that I need the shovel for immediately, so let's kind of save our shovels for a little bit. I'm going to assume that the potteries here are the equivalents of the crates and sacks in the base game.
Barriers, both proverbially and physically.
Might have to be more liberal with stuns in this spot. Yeah, maybe. Or actually, no, what do you mean by that? Like, the stuns are worse in this game, so I don't know. First time chatter wrote anime. Hold on a second. Rotanimad? Will the VODs for this run make it to YouTube? Yes, they will. I just have some content on YouTube right now that I'd like to stay in the recent section, and I have some more content coming out soon that I don't want to overshadow with the VODs here. So they'll come out eventually, just not immediately. So we do have some enemies here that cap our maximum torch, interestingly enough, which is not going to be relevant for my playthrough. We have a Martaz Gaggle at 32 HP and an Affer at 20 HP. You know, if I knew what these words meant, I might have a better idea of what they do. My fear is that if I kill this thing with lower HP, maybe it gets, like, replaced by this guy, but I still will go for this first, is my instinct. The backliner with low HP and high dodge. And then we have some unholy enemies with prot. So these kind of remind me of the stone soldiers, the bone soldiers in the base game, except they are also Bartas and stonework enemies with more prot. Anyway, kind of regretting not taking breakthrough now. When I played DD1, I always took breakthrough when I didn't have a scout in case this happened. Maybe I'll get back that same habit. care about that debuff. Seems to me like that's the move you would want them to use. Really doesn't do much. We do have some XP8 synergy with the Holy Smite now, plus additionally these are Stonework enemies, so I do want to go for a Judgment here, which ignores the prep round stuff. However, we still have minus accuracy here, so I'm going to get the Bulwark up still. It's kind of annoying having to snuff the torch every time though, honestly. And the mods obviously... Like, I'm not seeing any of the mods for DD1 show up in this game, so there is no built-in way to keep things torchless without me having to snuff it every time. Which is fine, I guess. Yeah, Stonework representation. There were so few Stonework enemies in the base game that the Trinket, the Sculptor's Tool, like, didn't really make sense to take ever. Because it's only for the Gargoyles and the Guardian Guardian, which is kind of like the easiest boss in the game to begin with. So we see now that this Gaggle is actually a guy hiding out in a mech suit. Very interesting mix of technology and mysticism so far. Pretty cool. These guys, just like in DD1, the skeletons are impossible to bleed. Everything here is impossible to bleed. So I'm kind of regretting not taking Wicked Hack now. I think what I'd like to do though is jump in front of Crusader here next turn. Let's just try to get a kill on this thing first. Okay, I mean that was pretty underwhelming. It just gave me like a little bit of stress. Like, what is that? Let's do this. Okay, no stun. This guy's a speed of 2. My Crusader's faster due to the camp buffs. I think I'm assuming I should be able to kill him with the bonus, not only the bonus on the holy damage, but also the bonus damage for his expiated. So let's go for a stun here instead. Okay, he did go first before my Crusader. Very typical. Yeah, I'll just kill him. They're working on allowing mods. It's good to hear. I think, if anything, Torchless mod and some additional animation speed up mods would be very much appreciated. I'm just noticing this guy spawn now. So I just missed which ability spawned this guy. This little minion here is actually pretty threatening. He has this increased prot and almost the same amount of HP and very high speed, so I have to pay attention here. What was actually spawning this? Is it just that these guys die and spawn this, or one of these enemies do it? I'm not quite sure because I wasn't paying attention. But let's get another... Well, I would still like to stun one of these guys. This guy's the highest chance to hit. What I don't like is it's not telling you fail stun. I mean, obviously it didn't land, but kind of like it was in the base game, so why take that out? So if I have some common sense here, like obviously if I kill this thing, it's just going to spawn another one of these without knowing what mechanic is causing that so far, so I'm more inclined to just kill this new spawn thing, even though the dodge is a little bit higher. It's very respectable damage though. Yeah, and I want to start killing this, because I have some suspicion that this is what's spawning the skeletons here. 9 to 16, so I can actually kill this. Yeah, you know what, let's give it a try, because I wouldn't mind seeing what this guy does. I already know what this guy does. Perfect amount of damage to kill that, okay. Okay, very standard ability. That is increased stress and received. Okay, so he's basically getting plus 40% stress. Okay, so is this guy. This time I paid attention. So he will turn even the corpse of that seemingly non-unholy enemy into a new summon. So if I want to kill the back rank here, I do have to start getting people into position. Otherwise, this is going to be going on for a long time. I don't know yet if these things summon the corpse. But let's try to get Hellion in a rank where she can use Iron Swan, I suppose. Then again, if these don't leave a corpse, then this guy will be in position to be attacked. So let's do some experimentation here. Crusader is still decently healthy. Okay, so it does leave a corpse. I am going to assume that he is just going to use this corpse to revive. But I may be wrong. Let's see how that actually works. Can he revive the corpse of these already revived things? It's not obvious to me. We'll see. This guy still doesn't have his stun resist. I've not hit a stun once on him. Still not. At least these guys seem pretty non-threatening. Well, actually, no. They do a fair amount of stress. That's pretty comparable to, like, a stress caster.
Do not waver. The fight
Damn.
goes on.
Big ass crit there. But yeah, getting shuffled in this fight was pretty detrimental to me. Okay, so bit of a science there. We do now know that these guys can be infinitely revived until I kill this guy. So there's really no point. I mean, this guy is pretty much the equivalent of the mages in the Tangle of DD2, it seems like. So there's really no point in killing anybody until I kill these guys. Otherwise, I do have to kill the corpses as the alternative to that. But that's why I got Crusader in this position, so I can Holy Lance. We may have to deal with a possible affliction from Man-at-Arms, though. But I'm still going to prioritize killing this thing first, I think. Oh, that doesn't look good. Okay, so that is very much like a Thrall. I'm wondering now if you leave these guys alive for 2 turns, then they will just explode on you. That would make sense to me, which means that killing this thing would be a priority, but again, I still kind of want to go for the guy that revives things right now. And maybe we can stun this with Man-at-Arms instead. But I'm looking now, I'm seeing how much horror and stress I'm taking from just regular apprentice enemies. I think I will want to take at least, you know, 2 or 3 Laudanums with me next time. Circle Gurk, you just added the game speed in the files? Oh, interesting. And Jake, I'm not sure what Still Naki is. Is that another game? Could we finally end a stun one of these guys? I would love to just stun like a single person. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. That's an affliction. Oh, never mind. I thought that hack ability did damage, I guess not. Let's go ahead and lower everyone's speed in that case. This guy is going to summon the new guy. Cool. That's an affliction. Okay, fair enough. So,
To handle the suffering.
I am seeing the difficulty amped up compared to the very first dungeon of yesterday, which I do like to see. We're gonna go for the guy that has the more crits receive chance and stun resist here. And hopefully we can kill this thing. Does he have pro? Yeah, so this is actually a perfect opportunity to use the Honing Oil here. Perfect. So that does come into play with, just based on like pretty much like over half the enemies I'm seeing having high prot so far, which could be something that's specific to this region, but you know, we'll see. So she is at 1 HP now. I can stun one of these guys. Vestal can't do damage is the thing, you know, so I can stun one of them potentially, but that's very seemingly unlikely to happen. You know, some people have asked me, you know, it makes more sense, does it make more sense to go for stuns with Vestal than go for heals? It seems to tend to favor heals a lot more than stuns. It's very specific. On average, a lot of times the heal is going to be a better result than the stun, which is obviously very good if you ever hit it, but you have to deal with dodge and stun resist a lot of times, so in some situations like this, I do value the heal, the more consistent, safe skill, especially in Deathless, over like a less consistent stun that you might just be screwed if you miss.
Yes.
The crits in this game obviously do clear the corpses too, like in the base game, which is not a thing in DD2, so that's important to know. Your boy Fives, ahoy to you as well. The Reliquary is pretty interesting so far, I gotta say. Today is a little bit more fun than yesterday. We have a lot more variance in the enemies. Every single battle, we're seeing new enemies right now, which is pretty cool. But there is just so much to read on every single thing that, you know, I'm opting to kind of
Our care for
just
one another is what sets us apart.
just read as I go here. Yep, and that's the thing.
How much further can one continue?
Okay, so the difficulty of the game is becoming a little bit more respectable right now.
An
Okay, I should have taken that
adequate
with man-at-arms there.
Keep it up.
And camping and feasting is a little bit less good, so definitely gonna use food differently. So you have some charts here. My intuition tells me this is the equivalent of like the pile of scrolls or pile of books. Well, there's no chance this should give me stress. This should just give me scouting, right? And I can't see any like supply items that should help here. Yeah, just like I thought. It's scouting, but it's the Curio Scout, and it's not a very good one, so yeah. So again, I am going to take, swap out Yop for, well, first of all, I'm going to swap out a couple of these. There are a lot of undead, which bleed does nothing against. So let's take Iron Swan, Wicked Hack, if it bleeds, and Breakthrough, like I would in the base game. I could eat food to heal. It does seem these battles drag on longer so far than DD1. The enemies have a lot more going on. So eating some food here to heal up would make some sense. But I'm also kind of wanting to limit test here. This does seem to be... Okay, these are two enemies I already know of. You guys see that I already know their skills. Okay, I see now. I understand the notation of this now a little bit better. So, as far as what abilities the enemies have... Okay, no, yeah, it actually perfectly lines up. So, it tells me what abilities have what, you know, targets and positions that they need to use them from. So for Horrific Blaze, he can be in ranks 1. I mean, some of this is still alien to me. I just have a better idea of it though. Repressurize and Pressure Malfunction are obviously self-buffs. Now, I'm not quite sure why this guy would have a quadruple green thing here. My assumption is just that this is buffing... I mean, you would think this is doing something good for my team, but it must do something good for his team. It must give his entire team buffs. Anyway, good time to heal when she has no accuracy on round 1. Yeah, so formation is a buff on the entire team here, probably. It's unfortunate. Gonna kill the guy that's easier to kill. I could have considered using my second honing oil here. This item is actually like incredibly useful due to how many enemies actually have a lot of prot. So I'm probably going to bring at least like a stack of this next time, to be honest, until I get a better feel for the game. That's very nice here. This guy's pretty slow, I imagine. Speed of 10, it's actually not that slow. Yeah, I did want to give an arms out of the way there. He doesn't have his stun resist yet. His debuff resist is also 20%. I think I would actually like to get his speed down first, and I can go for a couple stun attempts next turn. But let's clear Horror and off her for now. Get her healed up. So it's worth considering that, similar to the base game, if he is afflicted, he does heal more stress off himself, but obviously I don't want to actually get him afflicted. Like, I may want to heal his stress off here about an affliction from the Horror, but Vestal's Divine Grace will be up the round after this one. I could just guard him. I mean, I kind of want to just kill this guy off, honestly. And... oh. Yeah. I'm probably actually going to want to be taking a full stack a lot of them, actually. At least a full stack a lot of them every mission from here on. Okay, I forgot that he does some prods, so maybe the bleed would have been better there. I have not stunned him yet, so... like I said, I thought I'd be going first because I lowered his speed, but the speed reduction is not that high. -4 speed is the equivalent of like -2 speed in the base game. Since he's already taken his turn, I think I'd rather... well, a stun would be really nice here, but healing here would be more consistent if I want to save my food. She is close to afflicting. It's not very good. Yeah, you know what? I may want to use the honing oil here, even if it's just for one attack. I probably should use this last turn. But here it gets guaranteed value.
Spectacular.
That was a pretty spectacular hit there. Please let me go first. Okay. So she may afflict from walking, meaning I might actually want to, yeah, just heal off her stress so she doesn't afflict immediately.
When the path is
Kill
unclear,
here.
rely on each other. We press on.
Yeah, exactly, Samson. That's why I didn't want to save it, per se. How do you like the darkness? I mean, it's not really noticeable yet. Like, obviously, I'm taking more stress than I would normally. I am seeing a lot of Veritas enemies. However, I don't have any frame of reference for how often they should spawn, right? So, I'm just going to hope that there's no battle in the next room. I'm going to play a little bit less safe than I would in my previous challenge run, obviously, because I'm still sussing out the limits of the game here. And so I'm still not going to heal here. I failed to see that we picked up these boots somewhere along the way. Who has the highest trap disarm to begin with? It's Hellion, but she has a bit of trinkets that are better for her right now, so I'll put this on her for now. Not that it's going to do anything for this fight. But if I can get a camp here, I will camp. Yeah, okay, great. This is not a curio, okay. Do I have anything that cures horror here? I don't. But still.
Huddled together, the knights here are frigid.
Oh, that's super bad. Okay. I think I actually do want to hit Revel, even though I don't have the herbs to clear everything off. Masochistic, yeah, it's really going to be pretty iffy whether he's able to use any of his own camp abilities. We have heal mortality buffs, I don't have any of those. These two are religious though, I do want to try to go for this. Okay, it's unfortunate again. I could go for Revel and then Hobby is what I'm thinking now. Heal 20%, heal 20% stress and minus 10% stress received. So it's actually a little bit worse than the last game. But yeah, let me try for Hobby. Okay, so that's something at least. He's very much low in HP. I may actually just want to wound care here, even if he has a high chance of rejecting. Actually, I still want to go for instruction. Actually. Okay, no one took stress there.
Will not impede us. We are the flame.
Yeah, very iffy now, the odds of completing this dungeon. Let me check the chat for a moment. Giraffe says the skeleton enemies, they can only spawn darkness, that's the challenge. Okay, interesting. But it does say it spawns increased vartas and like enemies in general. But I can see that the skeleton enemies are darkness specific. Because yeah, that skeleton fight was sufficiently challenging compared to a normal, like normal spread of enemies. But now that I know the mechanic, it's probably going to be a little bit easier. Plus, I got shuffled that fight, which is really unfortunate. This might give me a scout. Tactician, okay. I think you should actually eat some food. Oh, food stacks higher than it used to. The Levantine defector offers riches in exchange for supplies. Okay. It'd be nice if I could, well... So he's going to give me gold in exchange for, like, probably food and stuff. Let's see if I can give him a shovel, maybe. What's the least useful thing on my team? I actually have the disease kit.
Secure it and march on.
Yeah, okay.
We still have much to do.
Not bad. Exchange 400 gold for 2400. That's actually a very rewarding curio to interact with. I do seem to be getting a lot of backtrack battles. I'm not really inclined to go to this room here. But then again, there's going to be a lot of backtrack no matter what. Exploration of 90% of the rooms probably means I can leave 2 rooms unexplored, so leaving these 2 rooms be nice. It prevents the most amount of backtracking, and I can just go in like a loop here. If I'm hoping to finish this mission, which I am. Look at this guy in the back here. Anyway, this guy does a lot of horror, which I don't like. Things to be stabilizing? I don't think so. I'm in a pretty rough spot here. Which I like, because I like the, you know, the challenge and learning new strategies and having new knowledge to, you know, accommodate for the challenge, the new difficulties coming up. I would like definitely some room to learn and improve here. Turn 1 is always going to be interesting. It's pretty much always going to be Judgment, as far as I'm concerned, because Expediting does do a lot of good stuff for my team. And it's going to ignore the turn 1 debuffs. And it's nice that Bulwark does heal some stress as well. I almost feel like I want to focus down the Stress Caster. Like, leaving Slash I'm sure doesn't do like a whole lot. Let me see what happens if I just focus this guy down. Again, maybe I should have used Bleed there. Let's see what the buff actually does. She took some stress from that, I saw. Okay, so Rattling Horn. I think that's a new ability. I did not see that ability until now, so we now know that he does single target and also stresses out someone on my team. So now we have increased damage, armor piercing, prot if in position 1. Okay, so obviously Rattling Horn is the bottom 2 buffs here. If he's in position 1, he gets increased prot and speed, which means I'm going to want to go for bleeds here now.
Yes,
Wow, okay, that was very nice. Let's see if we can go for a stun this time.
Strike them down. Do not relent.
Okay, that's unfortunate. It's probably an affliction after the horror. Although I can't clear the horror. Okay, that healing's actually super nice. Even though the Divine Grace and Comfort are kind of deep, you know, nerfed, we do get a lot of healing just from expiating people, which is nice. And since he already took his turn, I do want to see how much I can go for expiated damage here. 16 is not bad. Okay, Leading Slash, that's equivalent to about 6 damage in the base game, which is how I'm kind of... Okay, that's unfortunate. You really... Oh my god. I was literally just about to say, you really can't rely or expect virtues as often as in the base game, because this is a 15% chance as opposed to a 25% chance. But that was really lucky there. That's really nice. So not in a big emergency to clear that horror off now that she's virtued. He needs a heal, but he could get the horror removed. A stun would also be nice, of course, but it's really unreliable right now. And he may actually use Flamethrower this turn, which means I may want to clear horror off of Man-at-Arms next turn, which is leading me to want to just Divine Comfort instead. Of course, Masochistic is possibly going to prevent that. Okay, that's nice that I got to kill him first. I could try to stall on this guy a little bit. He does do about 12 damage to me. If I Holy Lance here, I should be able to outspeed with Hellion, I guess. Wow, it's a big number for an apprentice guy. Yeah, he's increased prot, the equivalent to about 3 damage. I do actually want to see about stalling for a little bit here. I've not gotten to utilize stalling much so far, just because of how threatening the enemies have been so far. But I'm assuming the stall mechanics are going to be pretty similar. So we're going to Bellow here to reduce his speed. Let's Divine Comfort on Man-at-Arms, just because this horror is not really much right now. And now we'll go for a kill. Oh, nice. Courageous is the stressful one. Okay, so the fact that we just virtued means that there is a half-decent chance we can get out of this alive. Stun resist and move resist. Like, I would prefer to have this on the Hellion because she's very position dependent. And Crusader doesn't really care about being moved so much when he has Holy Lance. His stun resist is what, below average? Why does Hellion have so much stun resist? Oh, because she's virtued. So I guess I'll just slap this on Man-at-Arms. Neither of them really care about being moved, but his stun resist is a little bit lower right now due to being afflicted. This person seems to have died in this pose. Huh. Usually I would use like holy water on like unholy looking Kyrios. I do have this anti-venom in inventory, which doesn't make sense to me, so I'm not going to do that. It could either be a Cleansing Salt or Archaeology Kit. In fact, I didn't check yet if Cleansing Salt is the holy water equivalent where you can get resistances. Hey, My intuition paid off, huh? So that's a considerable buff. Plus 10% prot and healing received on my tank is pretty damn good. There are 3 different ones, Strav? Interesting. Okay. It's good to know. Hey, a secret room. Very nice. And I get to skip this hallway. So, I did already use a curio here, so why is it that I can't... Okay, so they don't have any Vartas currency, or no, I do. So even though I've used this in the past, it was probably a different Vartas currency I used last time, that's why it's not showing up in the indicator. Okay, it's not even allowing me to use certain curios here. Oh wait, here. So, what I would like to see from this mod is that in the base game, it actually shows you indicators for curios you've interacted with in the past. I did not see that with the currency here. The Musketeer boots are still Musketeer boots, okay. Again, very similar to the base game trinket. It's just, it's increased healing, basically, but you have less on-use healing. But it can also cure bleed, which is nice. I think I will end up using that. This pendant used to be minus stress with no downsides for Hellion. Now it's minus stress received per gem or vestige in the inventory. I'm not quite sure what a vestige is yet. And then minus stress received. Okay, it's not half bad. I'll probably slap this on Man-at-Arms. The Electrum was what I used last time? The Electum? Yeah, that sounds right. Electrum. Okay, so I think I'm going to swap the stress trinket onto Man-at-Arms here. Where'd it go? And then that means we just slap the girdle onto Crusader in that case. Because I doubt that Vessels can be, like in the base game at least, you tend not to get stunned in the back ranks as much. Hello. So it's the secret room is not so much an interaction with the key here, obviously. He's offering a trinket that can be evolved at a later time. So what can I give him here? Just some currency? Amber, Vartas Derrick, or the Archaeology Kit. I'm looking at this curio here though. Yeah, no hints yet, Giraffe, so let's all keep the hints to a minimum, maybe for stuff I've already interacted with. I don't mind getting some input on stuff I've interacted with or abilities I've seen, but for new stuff, let's not have any spoilers here. I know that I think the Amber can be used to purchase pretty good stuff like scales. And let me try, like if it fails, right? Okay, no. So at the very least, I can't use... Okay, you know what? I'm seeing the question marks here, like all these curios can obviously be tried with this guy. However, I'm pretty sure I didn't have the option to like see that icon for the Modkas. Okay. So these are all the curios I can use with them. It may just be nothing too. I do have a spare one of these. Okay. I don't think it's going to be shovel. I highly doubt that. It's going to be bandages or anti-venoms. I'll try a key. Okay. So it's not the key. I don't want to use my cleansing salt yet. Like archaeology kits are kind of expensive. I'm just going to like. Well, no, he's not going to give me something for free, is he? Like, why would he do that? He is a perfumer. Let's take that into consideration. Let's try the sensor. Nope. I have not had so many failures on one curio so far. Okay, so he doesn't actually take a supply item, which is nice. On hit, suffer 4 damage, okay. 50% effect damage per difficulty. Wow. Effect damage. So effect damage is a new keyword. It doesn't seem like that would apply to dots. Suffer may be some kind of effect damage. And plus 50% damage for difficulty. Okay, so that's nothing to do with leveling up. But next level I get 2 crit on attack crits. I get 2 additional damage, which doesn't seem like a lot, to be honest. It's like not even 10% increase in damage, but I mean, it also relies on crit, so it's like every 4 moves maybe you get plus 2 damage. It's like, what the heck is that? 30% stress healing received from crits. Okay, it's whatever, you know. Very crit reliant, but it would be nice on Hellion, I guess. So let's slap that on her. It's kind of awkward though, because you really don't want to take away her axial speed. And you also take a little bit of damage when you do crit. We have 4% crit, 2% crit, 4%, 8% crit. This would make the most sense in Hellion, but taking away her crit, it's like, I don't know. I do have to use like my base knowledge and ability to assess trinkets here, which is really cool because it's not often you get to assess a trinket that you've never seen before. On crit, suffer 4. Like, the thing is, crits are not that common, even though I've been getting a lot of crits here and there. What are her crit modifiers and her abilities? For Iron Swan, you get plus 4% crit, so basically I'm getting 12% crit on the average ability. Yeah, basically 12 crit per ability, so this is not applying very often. And when I do crit, what's happening here? The on attack crit self stress plus 3. But I guess I may need to keep it equipped to level it up, I guess is the thing. It would make sense for this trinket to not look very exciting for the time being when it's not leveled up. I am going to slap it on for some science here. Oh, okay. Hell. No, okay, I read this wrong. I'm not suffering 4 damage when I attack something. The target's suffering 4 damage. It has that target keyword, obviously. And then on attack crit self stress 3. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, I don't have to worry about the next level stuff so far. I'm just hoping I can level up this item by killing enemies with it. Man, you streamed yesterday and you missed it because I thought you were never going to stream again. My streak from your last run broke. I'm sorry, Giramoni. Yeah, I did take a very long break again to work on some YouTube content, which I encourage you guys to check out. But now that I'm done with all that content, I am ready to start streaming regularly again. And for now, Black Reliquary is probably going to be... It does seem like Black Reliquary is going to be a good amount of content to get through. So this mod should give me something to stream for a pretty damn long time, I'm assuming. I have to... Like, I'm just going to assume that no curios are needed for this one. It just doesn't make sense logically. I could be wrong, but it just seems to be the equivalent of a sack or chest from the last game. Like, there's so much to talk about here, I'm like, my throat's getting kind of tired, honestly. We do have scouted fights now, so I'm down to take Yawp instead of Breakthrough. And we do have some synergy with Reckless Rage here and the new crit item we just got. This would actually make sense to take in place of Yawp sometimes, because this also gets around the prep turn. Minus dodge and damage for battle though. I just noticed that the debuff from Yawp on the prep round lasts for entire battle. That does seem pretty damn good too. I'm going to swap out if it bleeds here. So we miss out on some targeting for rank 3, but I'm very curious to see how that plays out. And then accuracy and speed would be nice on Crusader in this case. So let's fuck off with the heavy girdle. I guess we'll slap it on Vestal though. Alright, so it's these guys again. What is that icon there with a laudanum? I have no idea what the hell that is. I'm gonna go for a strategy of not killing these guys at all right now. Let's just target only the backliner here. Which again is really iffy just because I can't even target the backline of the Vestal anymore. I have to make sure I can enable Holy Lance for next turn and just Iron Swan this thing until it dies. Now, this is interesting. You can see I can actually activate Alum Sensor and the Archaeology Kit during battle. I'm assuming the Archaeology Kit is going to give me more accuracy, so I will play around with that on someone that's not Vestal. But the stun chance here is half decent at 40%. But I have like no accuracy right now, so I'm going to go for a big heal. Or I could Judgment. But I don't really want to Judgment. Well, Judgment actually does give me my team heals, so I'll go for that actually on the prep round where it makes the most sense. So they're actually... It seems that the enemy team is also mindful of the prep round. They're not going for damaging attacks here, which is interesting. So Enrage also... The Enrage keyword here, I'm not quite sure if it does anything more. It probably does something I'm not aware of. Let's see, if I alt, there's no menu that pops up like in DD2. The crits receive chance and minus dodge kind of sucks though. Because I'm not planning on killing these guys for quite a long time, I think I do want to E off here to get these debuffs for the rest of the battle. And then we will also... I said we wanted a Rampart so that we would be able to enable Lance, but Crusader is a little bit too fast right now, so... Some of these speeds are hella fast, but this guy has... Okay, but he's like deactivated right now. So he activates on like the round after the prep run, it seems like. Bella would make a lot of sense here, especially if my priority is killing this guy. I do have to get Man-at-Arms into position though, so that Crusader can Lance next turn. Okay, that's nice. There we go. This guy like reminds me so much of Blitzcrank from League of Legends. A spooky Blitzcrank with the hands there and the mech suit. I wouldn't mind XP-aiding both these guys actually. It actually gives me a lot of healing and debuffs on them. Okay, so this guy is actually... I only have a 78% chance to hit here, because I took off my accuracy item, so let's see if the Archaeology Kit does what I think it does. It gives me actually 50% trap disarm for 16 turns, which is incredibly lame, so that was a bit of a mistake there, but had to be tried for science. That's a massive crit though, so... What do we get from that? We got plus stress itself, obviously. Okay, I'm surprised that didn't try to bleed me. It's Bellow this time. Or Guard. But he's kind of the one I would least want to be attacked right now, so... I could also just start chipping away at these guys, seeing that this guy should die this turn. Let's get some priority for the next turn, actually. So, this is going to go a lot differently, because I wasn't shuffled on this fight, on the same lineup, and I knew to target the bad guy first here. Courageous is still really nice here. So this guy has increased buffs, so I want to kill this thing first. Especially because I can't reach rank 3 because I took off if it bleeds, which wouldn't have done too much against that unit anyway. Could go for some stuns here. Or I could expiate again, but this guy doesn't damage me or crit me, I'm assuming. I would like to go for a crit, ideally. Or a stun, rather. It's a fair amount of damage. Oh, please. Okay, good. Again, Rampart is a little bit more accurate than their ability, but I actually don't want to shuffle in front of the Hellion here, because then if Crusader wants the Holy Lance, it's really awkward. I'll just crush. I'm just giving my voice a chance to rest here. I kind of need a break. I don't know when I last got an ad. I'll keep going for as long as I can for now. Gotta get in these heals while I can while he's masochistic. This stun chance is actually higher. The stun resist is pretty low here. Yeah, I talk as I want to talk. There's things to comment on. But I am going to give myself a little bit of time to rest here. There we go. That's a big spread. It's nice to replace the archaeology kit I just wasted. Some more food is much appreciated as well. The Jades have a slight increase in gold value this time. I did tend to like Jades more than Citrines in the last game. Protection Stone seems kind of ass though. Or does it? This has no downsides like in the last game. It's obviously better than the Traveler's Boots when, well, we do have a hallway battle here, so this does give me a bit more dodge. I don't think Vestal has been the target of like a single attack so far, though. In which case, Protection Stone doesn't make sense either, obviously. But more so than the move resistance stuff, I guess. Yeah, fuck the Citrines, I guess, like usual. I guess I will go in this area, because it is, you know, empty. I'm trying to think. I feel like in Reckless Rage is just too slow. I'd rather have if it bleeds for rank 3 damage, I feel like. Well, I did say in the last fight I was inclined to use Yop, because the first 2 targets were not going to be the target of my attacks for a long time. If I do leave them alive for a long time, then Yop makes more sense, because the debuffs last for the entire battle. Let me try this one more time. I'll see if I ever want to Reckless Rage on turn 1. This would make more sense if the frontline targets are higher priority, which in a lot of battles there's only 2 or 3 enemies, so I mean Yop would still make sense in that case though anyway. But sometimes there's a size 2 enemy in rank 1, and then there's the commander in rank 3, which I can't reach if I don't take If It Bleeds. Let's see if I would have preferred to take one or the other this time. Oh god, this looks pretty threatening. I know this Jin is pretty threatening, but this is a good use for Yop here. Okay. We have some Mark Sentry here, which is obviously going to play into, you know, this Falconer. It seems to me. Almost not snuff the torch in time, even though I'm not going to be like that anal about it. This is not like a super hardcore challenge run. It's just a first time playthrough of the game. If I were to complete this campaign, Deathless Torches on my first playthrough, then I think there would be a problem with the difficulty. So I'm assuming I am going to lose this campaign, so I'm not going to be anal about a lot of the... Like, oh, if I miss snuffing the torch once, it's not like over. This guy's protected by the grunts, so I do want to attack the grunt then. Then again, the Thaumaturge. Why is it I can already see all of his abilities? Did I already face his enemy? I must have faced his enemy before if I can already see 4 of his attacks. So let's consider this for a moment then. Caustic Impact, we have chance of disease and blight, so this must be the unit that actually diseased me in the last run yesterday. And then we have some self buffs on single target. So single target buffs on the enemy team. Hermetic Laceration though, I wonder what that icon means. The double arrows here. I'm just trying to think who I want to expiate here. If I can get this guy expiated and get Crusader into rank 3, then that percent damage versus expiated will be nice. This guy's an easier target though. I just love how this game is forcing me to ways to think that I would never have to in the base game because I've just used everything already. It's really refreshing. Double arrows is movements. Okay. Getting the stunning would be super nice. It would get her out of position. Or them. I'm not sure what the gender is. But now I can lance the XP to target, like I planned. And here is a situation where I am thankful I took If It Bleeds, because I do really want to take care of this target here. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame, though. This guy does a pretty low stun resist, though. But so does this guy, honestly. Train Slash seems like it shouldn't be. Like, the Grunt shouldn't be that threatening. So I'm gonna go for the guy with the lowest stun resist here. Minus accuracy is not a huge deal for Vestal. But yeah, I am really not like that impressed with Vestal so far.
The teeth great. They cling to
okay, at least he didn't kill himself. We have minus bleed resist and plus stress here. I'm not sure that's really worth an herb, but you know, he might just die here. So that gave me bleed. Okay, so that was the equivalent of holy water basically, which is good. In which case I don't need to cure up the debuff maybe. I could actually heal him off Death's Door here, but this guy can target ranks 1 to 2, so I think I want to kill him off if I can. That was so weak. It's kind of hard to believe. Oh my god, look at that clutch Vestal heal on my Death's Door target. Very thankful for that. Like, my intuition tells me to just Iron Swan this guy while I can. This guy seems to be just stressing me out so far. That is a fat-ass crit, especially with my hatchet here. This hatchet does not appear to be leveling up in a way that I can tell from just killing enemies or critting things. I was about to say, like, it looked like a new enemy spawned in place of this corpse here, but that did not actually happen. Oh yeah, I forgot I can run ads manually too. So after this fight, I had to take a little break here, a little 3-minute break. So we'll finish this fight and then I'll take an ad break. Let's see. I have not landed a stun on this guy yet. Okay, good. Did make Vestal work, but always felt like fighting a losing battle. Don't know if she's just weak or as being the one being dumb. She does seem weaker in back ranks at least. She has some more utility in rank 2 now, I can see, but I somehow doubt that rank 2 Vestal is ever going to be, like, amazing.
Our injuries will mount. We must be bound.
Really super glad I took if it bleeds over the Reckless Rage here. That's pretty big damage. Crusader hits hard. Like, actually. Okay. Yugi might have rejected that. XP does reduce his damage and crit, and it heals me, so I'm kind of inclined to just hit that more often than Divine Comfort. Oh, perfect! I actually get to crush here, possibly kill him? Yeah, it's a guaranteed kill. Perfect. That Affliction actually helped me out there. Alright, BRB guys, quick 3-minute break. See you guys in a little bit. And we're back. So, started out pretty rough, kind of stabilizing here. What the hell is this thing now? Amber Corrupted Ward, coated with amber formation. So, it does say corrupted. This thing might possibly harm me. My instinct is telling me the cleansing salts. Okay, nothing there. And that's all I really have, so... Okay, we have minus 20% damage for 4 battles, which is a pretty hefty price, honestly. But he is not our damage dealer anyway. I mean, he does do damage, but... I guess that's okay for now. We have another scouted battle. This campaign is taking so long. I'm not sure if it's just the animation speeds, but it seems like all the enemies are much harder to kill. Plus, you have the prep round, which massively slows down the pace of the game. So even though it's just a regular medium mission, it is taking me a long-ass time to even get halfway through here. We have 16 food left. I didn't see any hunger checks so far that I observed. There may be hunger checks, but yeah, I don't know yet. I'm really starting to hate this guy. It's one of the frontline enemies that kind of does way too much stress. He does stress and damage. Like, if I had laudanums, it wouldn't be quite so bad. I do have a way to remove horror, but it's kind of like a high priority target that's also a tank is just kind of annoying. Plus we have the grunts that can guard here. I'm not really that impressed with the Pursuer's abilities, honestly. His damage seems rather weak, and the Mark does not seem to have any synergy with the enemies on this lineup, at least. I think I actually want to go for a priority on the Firewalker here, and then I'll have to kill the grunts if he gets guarded. Yeah, he is like a ghoul. You're right, I guess that's a good equivalent. There are, like, large, tanky frontliner enemies that are also high priority kill. But you don't really see the ghoul pop up with that many other threatening enemies, I feel like, if I'm recalling. It'd usually be like snails or maggots or something. But these are actually annoying enemies as well. Yeah, I don't expect it to do much. This is a scenario where I would have liked to have Reckless Rage. I would have hit this right now if I could have, but I'll have to make do with the op. Because it doesn't really matter if I can't hit rank 3 if he does guard this guy, because I can just hit this guy and attack him instead. But he does always start with the turn with Repressurize, obviously. Now that's a tragedy. Yeah. Their moves, a lot of their moves seem very underwhelming at first until you consider the fact that it is a prep turn. Even that buff is like pretty underwhelming though. I think I just want to expiate everything. I'm wondering, does expiate have a expiration date? Triggers 3 times. Okay, so it lasts for 3 rounds. That's fair. I'll expiate this guy too. Yeah, I'm not really impressed with any of the abilities from this guy. Until I see some Mark synergy, it just seems like pretty crappy. Like, he's not deserving my attention from what I've seen so far. I can do 11 to 12 damage here, or 7 to 15 with, what's this bleed resist? 30%, so 70% chance to apply 12 more damage. Seems pretty decent. It's the same crit chance. But I am gambling. So if I do land the bleed for 12 damage, I'm doing kind of like 10 plus 12 is 22 damage, as opposed to Wicked Hack, which is... Yeah, this is going to be better than Wicked Hack. I don't need to Rampart here because Crusader can already use Smite on this guy. Debuffing their dodge and speed. Percent crit received though is kind of nice. I don't really want him to guard anybody here. But also, stunning would be half decent if I could land it. But it does get him in position to be hurt by the flamethrower here. And he's the guy I least want that to happen to right now. So I think I will just bellow. Oh, okay, so he can do that too. I see what this notation means now. So he can either hit the first 2 ranks, the middle 2 ranks, or the back 2 ranks with that ability. That makes the notation very clear. And it does seem obviously now that I look at it, if he is in the middle 2 ranks... Well, I can't assume. No, I'm not going to make any assumptions there. Circle Gurk, I do think you can also use DD Combat speed mods, you just have to manually put them in. Oh, okay, I'll give it a try then. I think that would massively improve the enjoyability of the game. But I actually don't mind seeing the animations of some of the new enemies too. I think I'll just keep it as is for the time being. And maybe that will change after I am more used to the game. Okay, we have a new ability here. Let's see what that does. Massive Stress. It's not that massive, honestly. Still not as threatening as the Firewalker, in my opinion. I'm hoping to kill this guy very soon, so I'm not sure it's gonna. The bleed is gonna get the full value. I think I'm gonna start Wicked Hacking this guy now. Oh, that was a very low damage roll there. It would be amazing to get a stun on this guy. It's very low chance though, a 35% chance. Stunning this guy would be much more consistent. And I think I tend to go for more consistent plays than lucky plays. Did not work out for me this time though. Okay. Pressure Malfunction applies damage and armor piercing. Okay. So even though he does kind of skip a turn, the buff is like half decent for him, honestly. Oh, that was massive. Thank you for that. It's too bad I didn't use If It Bleeds now, though. If I used If It Bleeds on them last turn, then I probably would have killed them just without having to waste a turn. This should usually land. Yeah. Failing that twice in a row would be kind of iffy. I do want to enable Holy Lance on this guy with Crusaders, so I will jump in front here. So it does seem I brought way too many anti-venoms. I think I did bring the right amount of bandages, though. Please don't stress me out here. Oh, cut you, motherfucker. Okay, let me get that horror off you. It is really spooky seeing that corpse pop up like that. So because I ramparted forward to enable Holy Lance, I am out of reach of this guy now. So I might just do it again, just so I can lance this guy next turn. Like, Expiate kind of makes more sense to me than Divine Comfort still. Oh wait, can you apply 2 stacks of that? Probably not. Okay, that was a mistake. I forgot that he was already expiated. And, okay, so also important to note, expiate does not reapply when you expiate again. Once he's expiated, his current expiate status will tick down, and you can't reapply expiate until it wears off. Okay, hopefully I don't have too many more fights here. I know I have at least one more guaranteed one. Ooh, a survival guide, and it is completely unchanged. One of my favorite all-time items from the last, well, the base game at least. We have the rat carcass here that used to be for the Crimson Curse. Debuff and mark skill chance, minus healing received, on tech, hit, debuff the target, minus 40%. That seems like an ass item, honestly. I'll be honest, I cannot imagine, like, maybe for some bosses that have a lot of healing mechanics, I can see this being useful, especially because Mark is better on bosses than regular enemies. Otherwise, that seems like an instant sell for me. I'll take a look at it on the way back. So when we're in hallways, we can equip the Traveler's Boots, otherwise Survival Guide for scouting. No scout, okay. I'm not gonna go in that room then. Could Man-at-Arms better use the protection here? I do like the minus stress in them for the time being, but Crusader is like one step away from afflicting too. And they are taking walking stress, I'm seeing, obviously. Hey, look at that. On like a whim, I'm thinking maybe you wrap the flowers in bandages. This is not a trinket, it is a buff for the party. Accuracy, crit, debuff chance, mark resist. It's a pretty valuable item too, but what can I do here? I'm gonna bank on not using anti-venoms. Doesn't seem like I've used them for anything so far. If I knew this applied for like the next battle, I would just use it now, but I'm not sure if like walking on tiles is gonna tick down the party buff. Oh, it's a passive in the inventory? Oh, okay, yeah, it does say that. Interesting. That's very useful to know. That's incredibly useful then. I wonder... Okay, so obviously my assumption is that this is going to be like removed from the inventory at the end of the... Like if I had to guess, I'm assuming this will be converted to gold at the end of the mission, and they won't have it for the next mission. We'll see how it works. Thanks for confirming. Okay, for these bigger battles, I feel like I might want to take Reckless Rage. Let me see. Again, the hatchet, it basically just says if I crit, they do, they take 4 more damage right now. And I'm not seeing that it levels up from using it. I might actually want to unequip this and equip it at the end of the mission to see if it kind of works like Ancestor's Portrait, like it levels up when you have it equipped on someone at the end of the mission. That might be my assumption for the time being. Let's keep the Survival Guide on. Actually, this item is changed a bit. You don't get -1 speed with it now, so that's kind of good. The accuracy buffs from camp have expired in Crusaders, so I wouldn't mind them having some accuracy right now. Yeah, Germany or draft, I don't mind if we confirm information. Yeah, you can confirm if I'm right. That's perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. Otherwise, if you don't confirm it, then I might go the entire game without ever actually realizing that, without looking it up myself. But the whole point is just to keep things a surprise for the most part, and not spoil things. Yeah. If I get the unlocked abilities on this item, then I see Reckless Rage getting a lot more value. But for the time being, I just don't see it. We are nearing the end of the mission here. I might want to eat some food. Yeah, here. We'll keep some more food for hunger checks and the extra healing. Oh, good. It was not a battle, but just a curio. Perfect. So I think there's a good chance I can finish the mission. I'm not going to risk anything on this curio for now, because I really want to just avoid afflictions for the time being. We've been creep trapped. Okay, so I would really like Crusader to not afflict from just walking, so let's try to get the extra trap disarm stuff on him. So now we bumped it up to 90%. Okay, well...
Aye, step lightly.
At least he only took 2 stress from that, as opposed to someone else would be taking a lot more, I guess. But that is a pretty tragic to lose the 10% chance here. I guess the Virtue was much better luck than the unluck I had here, just because this is much more influential than what just happened here. So I'm not going to say I'm like unlucky for this entire run, but losing the 10% chance there is pretty tragic. Okay, so this actually tells me whether it's just a curio or a room battle with curio. I'm pretty sure in the base game it was always a toss-up whether it was room battle with curio or not. I'm gonna touch this on my way back because I don't really have inventory space right now. I did not get a full scout yet, so I'll swap the survival guide back on. Good. Curio. Okay, so we've completed the mission. I know we can complete the mission without having to risk a fight now, which is probably what I'm going to do. Again, with this thing, I already have a debuff here. Let's try the shovel. Okay. Okay, fair enough. I'll take it. For science. If this had happened when I needed to do a battle, I might have been a bit more upset, but as is, I'll take it. Let's try to stress heal Vestal now. Actually, I don't really care about her stress, because she's too stressed to go out next week anyway. So if anything, I'd like to get the stress lowered on Hellion, so I can take her out next week without having to put her in the Abbey equivalent. Wait, oops. Cool. This I know is, again, the bandages. Perfect. We can use our last bandage. Does it stack? Oh, actually... Okay, so the buff doesn't stack, but the gold value does. These flowers are super valuable. Regardless. Oh, you know what? I don't know if there's a possibility of 2 secret rooms in this game. I shouldn't assume that's the case, but yeah, I should keep the map equipped. Which it is, okay, so I could get a critical scout still. I highly doubt there's going to be another thingamajig though. There's no keyhole here. It doesn't seem... I haven't seen any of the curio that has a keyhole yet, so I might as well just... Nah, I'll wait. I'll backtrack. Maybe there's like a curio with a keyhole somewhere. Okay. Well, you know what? I would really like not to have a backstrap build spawn, but I do have options to branch out. Oh shoot! I forgot to defrost the meat for dinner. Let me go do that real quick. Hold on 1 second. Get some water too. I'm parched. Okay. Alright, I'll see what you have to show me, Giraffe. A disturbing influence, okay. Do I have any more archaeology kits? I do. Okay, it's not that. Oh, there's a keyhole here. I literally see a keyhole. Haha, okay. Exactly why I kept the key, right? I was like, maybe there's going to be a curio ahead that I need to use the key on, so I'm not going to waste it testing it on that other curio that obviously did not have a keyhole. Okay, so we know this gives us a debuff. I might as well try the archaeology kit, I feel like. No, it doesn't really make sense to me. Let me try just touching it with my bare hands first.
Our cause is righteous,
Okay.
but requires
I think I'm just going to touch it with my bare hands from here on out. Okay, this I've already interacted with. See, this is what I'm looking for. The gold icon here.
Be gentle. For sale or for study, these artifacts are precious.
Oh, fuck me, I already tried that. Okay. I could have used the archaeology kit here. I was kind of saving that, though. Maybe this will use the bandage. If it cuts me, then it may be similar to the ragged knives or something. Get stress relief in the statue with something else, okay. Now that is kind of interesting to think about. I'm trying to think about whether... Yeah, so in the base game too, there were curios that did different things based on what items you used. But as a player that's learning the game, it's kind of like, if you're not looking things up and you use the curio on something successfully, you have very little like motivation to waste supplies testing additional interactions, right? So it is kind of interesting to think about. I can think of a couple, like even the chests. You can use anti-venoms, keys, and shovels on them, depending on the curio. There's different kinds of chests. There are the crates, the wine crates in the Crimson Court that either give you campfires or stress heal based on the curio you use. There's probably a couple more. I forgot what I used on this guy last time. Whatever I used is probably like the salts. I can't remember the outcome of what happened though. Was it this buff? Yeah, I know the barnacle chests require the shovel, Samson, but the regular treasure room chests also can be opened with the shovel half the time if you don't have a key, and then half the time it's Nance even with the key. Was that the one that gave me the buff? I'm pretty sure it did. Okay, this one does not take a shovel. It's kind of the equivalent of the sarcophagus from the ruins in the last game. Okay, so sometimes this does give me stuff. Interesting. I think I am down to get some loot from one last fight here. Everyone's still relatively healthy. Where's my axe? Okay. Plus dodge in hallways? Sure, why not? Yeah, not taking the berserk ability until I get this weapon leveled up. Okay. I think the biggest threat is still the Djinn here, if I'm being honest. Emo Pyronecrosis. The gaming indeed be going good. Okay, so because he guarded that guy, I should just be okay to just go for the Djinn here. Alright, it hit the debuffs on the guys that it matters for. I mean, if the Hawks had synergy with each other, that would be nice. Or a little bit interesting, but it does not appear that... Oh, okay, no, I do see it now. Airborne Assault does do additional damage versus Mark. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So these guys may be actually somewhat threatening here. So I may want to go for... Like, I have to consider here whether I'm more in danger of dying to heart attack or to damage. I think it's going to be damage, to be honest. Like, they are stressed, but they're not, like, close to heart attack yet. The Djinn can do damage, though, too, right? Or maybe not? Or, no, yeah, he probably does damage. Spirit Claws is probably damage and debuff. I'd like to eliminate threats, like, because Crusader's going to hit the Empowered Smite on this guy. Let's just get rid of one threat on the board first, if we can. Okay, do you not know your own synergy here? I don't mind it, I guess.
What can one do but look out for oneself?
These Hawks are absolutely massive, too, which I kind of like. It does not quite reflect the threat that these guys pose, but it's still pretty cool. So, the problem is... Okay, yeah, I think ideally I would Rampart this guy. I still have Empowered Holy Lance on the Expedient here. But if I did that to the Grunt, then he would have been out of position for me to actually Lance. Uh-oh. That is a massive heal. Oh my fucking god, okay. This might be a retreat at some point, if I'm being honest now. what does this do damage to me? I don't think Word of the Spirit does damage to me, if I had to guess. This guy is not going to do anything that bad while he's in that rank. This guy's HP is actually not that high, now that I think about it. I did have the impression that enemies take a lot longer to kill in this game, but that is partially due to the prep round and me overestimating their HP because all the numbers are doubled. But I should be able to two-shot this guy with Hellion and Crusader. Okay, even with the mark, that was like not really any damage, honestly. Okay, very reminiscent of Abomination Rake there. I'd like to lower his damage and get some healing from there. And stunning him would also be nice, but I can't actually move him forward here, is the problem. So yeah, let's get rid of their dodge a little bit. Good, just barely enough damage there. This guy has much higher damage now. He shouldn't be that hard to kill, honestly. He might take a turn first, but... okay. Rampart will kill, it's a little bit more accurate. And good. Because I crit, now this guy is out of position. Of course, the corpse could have moved him out of position anyway, but... yeah, nice. So... this fight should be stabilized. I'm not quite sure which option here is going to give me the most stress heal, which is my priority at this point, now that the fight is secured. Yeah, that's why I didn't use Divine Comfort here, because if he rejected the heal, then it would not have been worth it. We'll expiate here so we can Holy Lance with increased damage. Although I do have some motivation to stress heal her too, but now her stress is kind of like too much to go on the next mission anyway. I would very much not like Crusader to die. But these two still have their turns. He's kind of slow now because of Bellow. But Crusader is super slow. Okay, he's always going before Crusader. Well, let's just make sure he doesn't die, I guess. Or neither of them die. He'll also go for stun. He has very low stun resist. I haven't stunned him yet. Okay. Could go for stress heal here, but... oh, I guess I have to now. For the amount of stress that Hellion took in this fight, particularly, I don't think that reward was worth it, but it's fine. I would like to see what this Curio is. I don't know. Probably not going to do anything with these Curios, but I'll test it regardless. Okay. Has a chance of just giving me a buff. Anyway, that's it for this dungeon. Despite afflicting very early on, and having to use our camps very early, we did manage to clinch a victory here. Okay, our good old quirks from the past, except the Nemec is doing more reduction here. which I'm not sure if the resistances are double number 2. Again, when you're working with stats on the 100% like range, doubling those numbers don't make sense. By the way, my game just crashed here, so I guess that's a good time to call it, isn't he? But yeah, thank you, Giraffe. You'll have to show me the Hamlet thing next time, I guess, but yeah, game crashed. And that was the case too in the base game, Samson. Like a lot of times, everyone gets stressed at the end of the mission, but like you don't really get back quirks. On average, of course, you do, just the way the game is. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We had a pretty good session today. I'm really having fun seeing some fresh content for Darkest Dungeons here, getting to apply some of my skills and intuition to completely new situations is really challenging and exciting. So hope you guys enjoyed that content. And I'll be trying to stream tomorrow, same time. I'm not going to do double streams anymore for the sake of my health, but yeah. Yeah, glad to have you back too, Germoni. Peace out, guys. See you guys the next time. Or, yeah, I forgot, let's raid out someone, I guess. Let's see who's playing Darkest Dungeon. There's someone on my follow channels playing Darkest Dungeon, but it doesn't show up in the list of live channels playing for some reason. Mostly Harmless. Let me take a look at their stream. Oh, there's an ad. Oh, it's Darkest Dungeon 2, that's why. No, I'll skip that. I'm mainly interested in rating Darkest Dungeon 1 players, because I know you guys are more interested in that, so let's try this individual. Best part of the game is the bosses. Yeah, I'm excited for that, too, honestly. Okay, I'm going to wait until this guy's ad runs out. But they do have a minute ad that I have to sit through now, so I guess I'll just chill with you guys for a little bit. Yeah, the bosses are going to be really interesting, because when you don't know what bosses do, they have a much higher threat level than average enemies, which I don't think is the case once you have a good grasp of the game. Like the challenge... Like in my last challenge run, right? Deathless, all bosses, Torchless, yada yada. I never recall dying on a champion boss, but I would die on occasion to the walk to the champion boss. Once you get to the boss, like with the team you prefer, the chances of dying is very low. But if you don't know what they do, especially for noob traps, the Swine King or something of that equivalence, we will definitely be interested in seeing what happens and how to play around that. Now, just because of the fact that it is taking a very long time to get through dungeons, I'm almost considering not doing the Deathless thing here. Because if I'm spending 3 streams to get to a boss and I die, I'm thinking it doesn't really make sense to start over from scratch, because I'm not really able to utilize that knowledge as efficiently, because I have to grind my way back to that boss. So, we'll see. Maybe I'm not going to do Deathless at this point. Anyway, time to raid out here. Got party wiped. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I have a bit more luck than you, Giraffe. We'll see. But it'd be entertaining for you guys to see me die, too. Alright, anyway. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll be on... Wait, how the hell did I get... Okay, no, that's their followers. Yeah, I'll be on same time tomorrow, possibly Wednesday, possibly Thursday. It depends on when I'm seeing people